So recently we were introduced to the final starters evolutions, but in the same trailer there was another interesting Pokemon revealed. We know him as Cosmog. Very little is known about him, but fans quickly started making connections to Solgaleo and Lunala. Today we're going to discuss if it is possible that Cosmog is in fact a pre-evolution for the new Legendaries. Before I begin, I just want to let you know that I'm going to be using information from the data mine on the recent demo, so if you don't want me to spoil this part of the game, you should really stop watching right now. Okay, got it? Okay, for those who stay, I'm pretty sure you're aware that basically the entire Alolan Pokedex was found in the files within the just released demo. There are many cool Pokemon there, plus many others that has most of us baffled, like all the Pokemon that appear to be Ultra Beasts. But today we're going to be focusing on this little guy known as Cosmog. From the official trailer, all we get to see is that this is a pure psychic Pokemon and has the ability Unaware. But if you watch the Japanese trailer, you get to see a little bit more. Most importantly, you get to see Lily talking to the player. This implies that most likely the weird sound that we heard from Lily's back, way back when she was introduced, could in fact be Cosmog. We also get to see the main player using him as one of his Pokemon and protecting him from an attack from wild Pidgeys. This also implies that Cosmog plays a significant role in the plot of the upcoming games. But the main reason fans started speculating that Cosmog was related to the Legendaries is because of its place in the recent leaked Pokedex. Cosmog happens to be almost right before Solgaleo and Lunala. I said almost because there's another Pokemon in between. Well, this thing that looks like an eyeball. From here, some started speculating that Cosmog is the pre-evolution of Lunala, and this thing, I don't know what to call it, is Solgaleo's pre-evolution. I can see why many fans would say that based on the designs, however I find it to be unlikely for a couple of reasons. Up to this date, there are no box art legendaries that have pre-evolutions. I'm not saying it's impossible, just a lot less likely. Because it defeats the purpose of what a legendary Pokemon is, a single super strong Pokemon that is meant to be found once per game. The next theory takes the order into account, and suggests that Cosmog evolves into the eyeball looking thing, and from there you get a split evolution to either Lunala or Solgaleo based on which game you own. Again, I'm not saying it's impossible, but just based on everything that Pokemon has done in the past, that concept will be way out of line. But hey, I don't know, maybe they're feeling adventurous in this game. We cannot deny that there is some connection between Cosmog and the Legendaries, but we won't really know until the games are out in a couple of weeks. However, I want to take an educated guess and see how wrong I can be. So listen, future Obi, I hope you guessed this right. Almost every game so far involves some sort of item to summon legendary Pokemon. Think of the red chain that was shown in the latest episode of Pokemon Generations, or the silver wing you get in Soul Silver that allows you to encounter Lugia. My guess is that rather than using an item, Cosmog represents a way to awaken or even control Lunala or Solgaleo. There are a couple of reasons why I say this. First, if we take a look at the official Pokemon website and what it has to say about Cosmog, you will learn that this Pokemon absorbs light and grows from it. I find that interesting because it doesn't really specify which type of light, so my guess is that it can either be sun or moonlight based on whichever game you own. I believe Cosmog is affected the same way as Rockruff. It is also important to note that Cosmog was kept hidden from the public, and at one point it was only known by the kings of Alola. The Ether or Aether Foundation is in fact performing experiments on Cosmog, which leads me to believe that like most evil organizations in the past, they're trying to gain something from it, like awakening the legendary Pokemon. And the last point I want to bring is how the quote-unquote second evolution looks like an eyeball. That is very similar to what we find on both Lunala and Solgaleo's foreheads in the earlier trailers. But what do you guys think? Is Cosmog a pre-evolution to the new Legendaries, or there is a lot more to it? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new for more Pokemon videos, and get hyped because all of our questions will be answered very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, Pokemon fans.